Hello and welcome back to CrestVahllen D&D, the Argent Flame. Or is it?
Arcane Conundrum.
Arcane Conundrum. So here's the deal. This kind of aligns right into our announcements. We are toying with the idea of doing a name change sometime soon. Just because the name of the continent that we most of the time play on is CrestVahllen, but the name of the planet, as you guys have figured out, is Vonteria. And who's to say that all of the campaigns, since we're planning on doing multiple campaigns, are going to be on the continent of CrestVahllen? Well, who's to say they're going to be on the same planet, even? So, we are toying with the idea of making a more professional name out there rather than just CrestVahllen D&D, something witty, something pithy. Stay tuned for that. Don't be scared. We'll still keep our old name. We'll still be searchable by our old names. Do my best to make sure that our social media is still linked to some things like that. We'll figure it out. It's going to be a pain in the butt, but we'll figure it out. Don't worry. That's pretty much it for announcement 6. Oh, no, I have a couple of things. We are also in the works of setting up a Patreon. So for those of you that possibly, we'll see. Those of you who have really liked listening to the Gluten Talks and the Burnt Ends and the Discord that is then soon to be exclusive to those who subscribe to our Patreon. But I'm not going to get rid of the ones that have been posted now. Those are yours for free to enjoy. Have a little taste of it, see if you like it, and subscribe if you want more. And don't forget that those of you who have been our day oneers, you guys still get access to Discord. Of course, we're just going to keep the link that gets into that Discord on a more stringent basis now. So those of you who are in there, you're good. It's fine. You have access to the magic items and pictures that we have, the maps, the custom maps that I've created, our character art that has been done by our wonderful character artist, Solomonical, and much more, including recaps and everything. So that'll also be hopefully on our Patreon sometime soon. We're working on it. Might take a couple months to do that. Speaking of which, we're working on maybe upgrading some of our tech as well. A lot of things are happening. Stay tuned, and please be patient, and we will do our best to facilitate that as much as possible. You see, I have a paintbrush in my hand because I'm painting minis last minute. Look at that. I think that's it. Does anybody else have anything? Does anybody else have any announcements? Kenton, who plays Argus, is out today because one of his kids is not feeling well. He's very sick. So, not COVID, thankfully, but he is at home being a good dad. But that's okay. We will together at the table work together to make sure Argus does things that are Argus-like.
Burn something down.
Right.
Yes, no worries. Hopefully we'll see him again next time. Great. I think that's it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. If all that's done, then you guys want to play some D&D? Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, you guys should do... Right. We totally... If this is your first time joining us, you don't know anybody who's at the table. That's good. We're just going to play. No. Okay. So, we're going to go around the table and introduce each other like we usually do. First, we have Adam.
I'm Adam. I play the Gnome Artificer, who currently is going by Boots. We lost the main attraction for our tiny critter circus, so I've been brainstorming new acts. I think I can make a mini mimic magic show.
What? Yes, I want. I am very excited for this. Okay, and then we have Demetrius.
And my name is Demetrius, and I play the Dragonborn Paladin.
You got it.
Paladin. You got it.
I have faith in you. You have a pithy one-liner for me?
Pithy one-liner.
Yeah.
Just the six of us, you and I.
Yes, I love this. Go ahead.
I'm Kevin. I play the human bard Cole Votison, and look, I have to say, I've seen you hit the floor before, but I've never seen the floor hit back.
I'm Noelle. Today I'll be playing Thresheni Ankmut, the Kenrin blade dancing wizard. And, we've got red flame, blue flame, black flame, argent flame.
Oh, Dr. Seuss. All right, Tony.
Yeah.
There you go. He's still wet. Careful.
Nice.
I'll give him a highlight later.
He's a munchkin on the yellow brick road. Appropriate.
It is. It actually is yellow bricks. That's really funny. Go ahead.
I'm Cody, and I play the Bugbear Warlock log jamming. And when I was swallowed by that fucking floor trap piece of shit, all I could think of was the time I'd spent with the companion Midnight. The things she taught me, the things she showed me. And then I realized, I don't think she knows what she's talking about, all right? Because she went on and on about how much she loves to be eaten. That is nothing like what I experienced.
Oh my god.
There was quivering and shaking, yes, but that was mostly the floor. I mean, for me, it was just hard to breathe and something takes it from me.
Yes, you broke it. Cody wins D&D.
Way to start.
And that's where we're going to take our break. Because I need a break.
And we are officially Log and the Jailbreakers.
Fuck yeah.
2 jailbreaks makes a streak, right?
Exactly.
Third and it's permanent.
This game is not for children.
Can be, but
The
this one, no.
second jailbreak, though, was a lot louder than the first jailbreak.
Log is not for children.
Log is not for children. Log don't have any children. God. Oh, I could say so much.
Log is
I
not
won't
safe
say
for
it.
work.
Okay. And on that note, y'all want to play some D&D?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hopefully I get this done. Let's do a little recap from our last whole session, our last couple episodes. All right, let's pause the music and play some others. So, here we go. Before a flickering yellow candlelight behind rusting iron bars stands the silhouette of a familiar dragon-like humanoid. The silver dragonborn friend helps persuade the disillusioned Dorkenan Rai, Shade, to allow his escape, while the party learns that there are extensive security measures in place to prevent such action. The gang attempt to convince Shade to teleport them out of the prison. Where was I? To teleport them out of the prison. Where the fuck am I? I lost my spot. Yes, the gang attempt to convince lost again. To teleport them out of the prison to allow their egress, since there is no foreseeable way to leave by conventional means. A nearby Duragar inmate of the prison, Ermgrim, interjects, claiming that they could get the gang out of the secret prison on one condition: freedom. Another inmate, Vladimir, claims that he can help disarm the magical locks that contain the prisoners, but he must be released from his cell first. Soon after, Darren, the blind human attendant, appears to feed the inmates and empty their chamber pots, but is stealthily ambushed, and his ring, that allows him to phase through a portion of the bars, is stolen. Using the ring, the party is able to free Vlad, and after being supplied with an adequate amount of blood, the vampiric individual is able to open Eleazar's cell door. However, in a moment of haste, the door is shut without containing a creature, setting off a silent alarm and triggering the security system. Doors containing dangerous creatures fling open as stone and clay golems descend upon the group and their newly acquired fellows. In controlled panic and realization, Shade flees, pursued by a rageful Sofka in elk form. Now, with no other choice, the party petition Vlad to release Ermgrim, so that he may teleport them out into safety. After several failures, Vlad eventually succeeds in using Hemocraft to free Ermgrim, as a giant lightning-slinging, teleportation-tracking metal scorpion breaks out of containment and attacks indiscriminately. Log becomes trapped inside of a section of stone floor come to life and nearly perishes, but is saved at the last moment. The situation continues to become more and more dire with every passing second. However, Vlad and Ermgrim enter the fray with blood magic and blue flame. Argus notices a brand of Kossuth upon the nape of Ermgrim's neck in the heat of battle, giving him a moment of pause and a sense of brotherhood. Eventually, the gang eliminates the immediate threats, but realizes that time is of the essence. They flee quickly through the maze-like prison, finding themselves before a wounded Shade, casting a teleportation spell over an arcane circle, uttering, no hard feelings. Before dematerializing, no Sofka to be found. The band choose not to pursue, but Erngrim and Trisheni use the partial scroll to begin casting a transportation spell of their own. As the rest of the party defend the casters from threats, it is noted that Sofka must have been teleported elsewhere. The gang step onto the circle as their forms atomize, appearing in a room walled with glittering gold. In the teleportation circle room of the Golden Vault, and Cole and Vlad make a deal, and the vampire departs without a trace. Trisheni makes a note of the arcane circle here before the party departs for the abandoned Firebeard home. After arriving, Ermgrim reveals that his clan Midmight is Midmight, and he is eager to return to the stronghold of Grimdramar. Ermgrim claims that he is secretly the keeper of the blue flame and recognizes Argus as the keeper of the red flame. The composed Duragar also states that the Stoneworm clan in Steercrag is well known for their affinity with subterranean worms, not unlike Ermgrim himself. The Argent Flame and company rest, awakening to the presence of a moonwolf, a manifestation of Log's dream of his mother, quickly dubbed Moonchild. Unfortunately, Log and Argus are still suffering the effects from the Clang Golem's attacks. As information about the last keeper, the White Flame, is revealed. Now, let's get back to the action. Welcome back to CrestVahllen. All right. So, we left off. You guys are still in Minheim. You guys have woken up. Your moon wolf is there. You dubbed them Moonchild. They do not have a gender unless you choose to assign it. They are just an entity. Knowing Log, he probably checked. There is no genitalia.
As soon as they turn around, you can kind of tell.
They kind of, so they just look like a normal wolf, but today actually let's double check that, because today we have to check the calendar that I have. 23rd of Hylock.
So no heart.
Tomorrow.
One more day.
Just
The heart will
check
come out.
So
my calendar on the moon.
last night, Bezer and Amsel were full, and Zeliel was waxing.
Yes, today.
It's triple full.
Triple full moon.
Ooh.
So you can see, all of you can see this iridescent incandescence about Moonchild as just it looks like moonlight just shimmers off the exterior like perimeter of their form. It's not like when you're looking right at them and their form is there, you don't really see anything, but kind of like how squiggle vision used to work back in the day. If the silhouette of them, like the edge of their form, if you looked at them two-dimensionally, kind of shimmers, and that, like moonlight is just dancing off of the edges and tinges of their fur, fringes of their fur. And it's quite strong, even indoors. You have known this for a while, that your innate ability to know when, what moons are full, or what the phases of the moons are innate. No matter whether you're underground, indoor, or whatever, you just know. You wake up and you're like, you can feel it. It's just like a sixth sense to you. And seeing this with Moonchild, although you are technically underground and indoors, the moon still appears to be glancing and dancing off of their fur, as though nothing could stop the moon's rays from penetrating towards them. So they are always have like some sort of connection, whether you are outside or not. Cool. I did send you that stat block, so you have Moonchild stat block. Moonchild is your new companion. You do know then that Moonchild kind of acts like a familiar, but can attack, and it's just another, like a wolf companion. But has the same thing of a familiar, that if they go, you can't cast a spell to bring them back, but when you long rest, they rematerialize. Make sense? Cool. So you have a permanent moonwolf.
That is badass.
Yeah.
So
Not coming in.
you realized that Warm Blizzard was the White Flame. Would you have told the rest of us that?
Yes.
As we were talking about it. Okay. Hey, Grim, do you know how many flames there are?
Out of the game.
Yes. Grim.
Right.
Do you know how many flames there are?
There's legend says that there's one in each of the 4 corners of the world. So there's the blue flame, the red flame, the black flame, and the white flame.
Okay. A yellow flame?
Well, the black flame is well known to the public.
Keeper of Ash, right? Or the Herald of
The
Ash.
Herald of Ash, the keeper of the black flame. Yes. The head of the crystal black in Full Morbed. She is not one to be trifled with. Her flame is, with my extensive research and my knowledge, is used to contain and create spent heresy in their facilities.
Okay.
One of the things about the black flame that she controls is that it cannot be put out except by magical means, and even that is difficult. Only she can do it.
So is it
Most
just
of the
those 4
Yes.
for each corner of the world?
Yes. I was unaware that who the keeper of the red flame was, but apparently we found you, and I inherited being the keeper of the blue flame.
A paladin of the White Flame.
You haven't said anything out loud yet, or did you share that information?
I did.
You did?
Yes.
Interesting. So your deity, whoever it may be, is said to be also called the White Flame?
Yes.
The Warm
So
Blizzard.
who keeps a deity? Because the flame itself is an entity, power, an office, as it were. Or I should put it the other way: the keeper of the flame is an office held by individuals, but the flame itself is primordial, not sentient. Well, I mean, there's an argument to that. But
Yeah.
if you say that your deity is called the White Flame, I mean, that could mean a couple things. It could be they're a keeper of themselves, or
They are the White Flame.
they are the White Flame. So it means if there is to be a keeper of the White Flame, who keeps a deity?
Maybe it chooses who is not necessarily keeping it, but helping it.
One of its
protecting it.
followers?
Yeah.
Just like
Represents it.
Argus
Possibly.
follows Kossuth. I don't know if that's where he got the red flame from, but
Right.
I suppose it's possible. However, now that it's good to have a follower that also keeps you.
is Kossuth the red flame, or is Kossuth the master of all flame?
Well, Kossuth is the embodiment of primordial fire.
So
Of flame, the Fire King himself. So all flames are originally originated from him, or there's an argument like
so the 4 flames
chicken
are
become before the egg, or the egg before the chicken.
the 4 flames are like lesser aspects of him.
Kind of, or greater aspects. Like I said, all of the flames could have converged at some point to create Kossuth, or the reverse.
Makes sense.
Nobody usually knows.
Okay.
So that's when I was
Granted, this all happened eons,
Yes. This is just legend, and we're making theories, but
possibly.
Yeah. So
I was just curious if there were more, like a green flame or a purple flame or
Not that I know of.
gold flame.
Not that I'm aware of, but
We are the silver flame. There's more than one flame. Come on.
I thought it was Argent.
it's the same thing.
same.
It's fine.
I didn't know.
One of these days, I'm going to teach you what a thesaurus is and how it works.
Is that like one of those like dinosaur things?
Yes.
Dinosaur?
It's like a
Baseball.
dragon.
Hey,
He can read now.
I'm smarter than last time we met.
He understands the difference between 5 and 6 now.
It was a big jump.
So what happened?
Well,
He ate the item.
That's why. Yeah.
His book Ate the Idol, actually.
And then there was like a little gnome guy like him.
Yeah. And then you
I was
were
really
but
trying
that
to
was when
waste
you
his
waged your
time.
eye. That's when
We
you
haven't
really
fully
got it,
caught
right?
you up on what's happened. There's been a lot of weird,
6 was the
Yeah.
little gnome guy.
random things along the way.
So if something strikes me as odd, I'll just make sure to ask.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a
I'm sure there's too
backstory.
much.
There's lots happened over the last few weeks for sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
We've met a couple robots. You met Security 4. We've met 2 others since then.
2 other robots of that stature?
Yes,
Really?
Found
an infantry unit and Revik, who I think was something else, but close to an infantry unit.
Seemed
Seemed
like
like
a
a
mix
period.
between like security code
Warrior
and the
bot of
infantry
some kind.
unit we met. We discovered that dig with the dragon.
Yeah. Another
Yeah.
dragon.
We came
Another
across
dragon.
another dragon who was being ridden by
Yeah.
some other type of creature.
We
This knife.
we did.
Did you
figure
determine
out-
who was riding?
Nope.
the dragon?
Well, no.
Some
we
kind of a
did.
creature.
A
We did,
skeleton.
because of the stories that my sister told. It's,
Oh, yeah, yes. You had some idea of what it was.
Yeah, it's these creatures. She thought that it was called like an illithid or something. These something that they had found along their
That's
journeys. But yeah, it's really scary and it's not from this world.
Now, being the
it was-
dragon
it was
one, would I
eating
have heard of
cheese.
anything about that?
It's riding it.
About like
Dragon Riders.
What? Yeah.
dragon riders.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a history check.
Or the illithid in specific. Because that's what we figured out was riding the red dragon.
Yeah.
No,
It was eating or
what it was attacking was
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was the long, like skull.
We didn't know what that
features
was.
with the dagger, with
Okay,
like
I'm
the
sorry.
Yeah,
that,
the Chris.
I'm sorry.
that Chris that was made of the same material
As-
as the well wall.
the dagger was hunting an illithid that had a
Go ahead and roll a history check.
terrazine embedded
History.
dagger. Was there anything riding it?
14.
There was.
There
a
was.
creature
That was
we
the
couldn't-
Chris. The creature with the Chris in its hand was on top of the dragon.
Okay.
Right.
And we didn't figure out what that one was.
No,
No.
it was too
No
weird.
idea what that is.
What they were hunting
14.
was the illithid.
14.
Yeah.
Your parents had told you stories of your heritage
Mhm.
and how you're descended from these great ancient mythical beasts with wings that are mammalian yet have scales and fly and lizard-like, and they said you be proud of what you are. You are dragonborn, but also know that people are going to feel are going to react to you in strange ways, and society might treat you differently, and you may have to work twice as hard for half as much. But you're familiar with this, and you just kind of like, you go back and you just think, and you have this moment remembering your parents and like, the bedtime stories they told you. There are like, there's pangs of memory of like heroes or people or individuals or creatures that worked with dragons, possibly in the past. Nothing you know of that rode them. Your parents portrayed dragons as creatures that were very proud. And so having somebody ride a dragon, to you, at least the way your parents portrayed them, doesn't really align with the way they described them, because they're too proud to have someone on their back, that kind of thing. Granted, they did let you know about how they have very many different temperaments across a wide spectrum. But that they did let you know that the heritage that they're most proud of is their own heritage, about how amenable and hospitable to the lesser or humanoid races of the world is your possibly ancient ancestor. Almost like they liked the company of the little folk compared to a dragon.
So that sort of brings up another question. The legend of dragons, right? Since we all thought they were just stories.
That's true. Granted, that has been debunked. Well, to the best of your ability, has been debunked.
We have found creatures
yeah.
that
Twice, right?
fit. We know two people that
You found
literally
red dragon
seen them.
bones, and you found that
Well,
spatial dragon.
and if
I know it's a black dragon. Correct?
and if Tammy was
don't know.
to believe,
You don't know the
he
color.
met a dragon.
We've met two people that
The
have
color-
met living dragons.
Right. The color of the big scale that you have is a black dragon
Yes.
scale.
Yeah.
That is from probably even another thing.
Yeah.
So the one that you got Warm Blizzard, your thing
Yeah.
from, was some sort of, you don't know the color of it.
Right.
All you know is that those bones had something to do with spatial distortion.
Okay.
And you met the bones that were of a red dragon, which we, a paleontologist, an archaeologist, and working together with your knowledge, were able to assume and surmise that it was a red dragon, given the amount of fire
Yeah.
involved in its bones.
Its bones actually like burst into
Yeah.
flames.
And then we have your black dragon scale. So we have evidence, if that is real, of possibly 3 different colored dragons that exist. On
Well, so that
Would
was
I
my
be able to
question.
determine if it was real? Being
That's a
being
really good
dragonborn?
question. You know, go ahead and roll an insight check on his scale if you pull it out.
We did let the archaeologist check it out, and she thought,
thought
it
it was
looked
real.
very familiar to what she was seeing there.
Right.
So
She thought it was real, but you weren't there.
Right.
That was my question. Are the colors of
No.
dragons something that carried on through the tales? Or is that not really something that's ever...
Let's find out.
9.
9. It seems like it's the same material. It kind of it's weird. It kind of feels like that. What is it? It's not called cilia. It's called the material that that whales have as their teeth.
Baleen.
Baleen. It kind of feels like baleen and soft, but it almost acts like non-Newtonian. Whereas like the more pressure and if you like hit it hard with it, it gets really fucking strong like on impact. But like if you press it, it feels more like baleen and it gives a little bit. Like if you press it softly, it's almost like it magically responds to force in different ways.
I need
Which
to
is
figure
the,
out what that is.
which
sounds
is
like a superfluid a little bit.
yeah,
Actually.
kind of like a superfluid, which is like really amazing because it's extremely lightweight in its material, which if armor or shields were made out of it, extremely mobile but extremely protective at the same time. So which explains that if these creatures were to ever fly, they would have to be somewhat light and super strong to be able to do it. So their scales are also super, like the efficiency of how much they protect and the weight ratio is beyond, it transcends physics. So that's what it feels like. It does kind of feel like your scaly skin, as it were, a little bit, but it's you're not a doctor.
How big is the scale? Like,
It is about the size of like a buckler. I would say like if you give me give me that. I'll show you. It's like it's about maybe like 30, maybe 40% bigger than this.
okay.
It's enough to, it's like the size of your head, a little bit bigger, kind of like the top of your head to the
Yeah.
bottom of like your sternum. That big.
So no, it was a-
You could make a small buckler out of it if you wanted
I mean,
Yeah.
the buckler is a small shield.
Yeah, it's just a little shield that only covers like your wrist and like part of your forearm area. A small one.
Could make it decent.
But the stories don't say like
Decent, like a piece of
Puff, the great green dragon, or anything like
No, see, no, right? You're talking about like the like the bedtime stories and
Yeah.
mythical legends like that. That's a very good question. I'll have everybody roll a history check for me.
I'm just wondering if it's a connection I would make.
Right.
Yeah, I was about to ask if there was
You're trying to
something.
bring meta knowledge into the canon knowledge.
I was going to ask if there
Not
maybe
necessarily.
something.
But I know
Yeah.
I was going to ask if there was maybe something I stumbled across.
16.
Oh, we got this.
Yeah.
We got this.
Go ahead.
No, go.
Yep. Go.
Well, I was
He
going
started that way.
Oh, what'd you say?
16.
16.
Nat 20 for a 20. It was history 28.
28.
17. I
17.
was not that good of a student.
Nat 20. Just a nat 20 because I don't have any.
History.
Still.
Yep.
But
But
So just 20.
So it's just straight 20?
Yes, sir.
What'd you get?
15.
15. Okay. Log, Cole, Zemdek. The depictions of dragons in storybooks,
The
with their
colors
images, the colors are never consistent. Like they're like it's not some, and some have like multiple colors. Like it's just artists' interpretations of like when someone says they saw a giraffe, oh, it was the head of it was the neck of a snake and the head of a like a lion with the mane of
how
a
the old, like,
thing,
old
and the body of a
monsters came
horse. Like that's it's entirely inconsistent. And like they never really had anything to do, which is why they, if they ever existed, devolved into some myth and legend, or like there's some rain, rain, make sure I turn the sprinklers
Everybody's
off.
windows are closed in their
right,
cars.
Your sun roof is
Yeah, but it
closed.
doesn't usually come through.
Okay.
So I
You
should be
sure?
Okay. Yeah, I should be okay.
You can go check it, please go
I
check
think I'm
it.
just gonna close it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go close it.
I don't want any issues.
But here, I'll tell you the history check real quick, and then we'll do, because you got a natural 20. So both of you kind of look at each other for a moment, and you, the stories that you are very, very specific. Your mother and father were white dragonborns, right?
Yes.
White dragonborns, and
Or silver.
they
Silver.
silver. Because you're
Sorry.
silver as well, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Because I was thinking about that for the other day. You're both silver dragonborns, and so were they, and they were very, very proud of their heritage. And they did at some point mention that although it is reductive, and today they consider themselves better than that, that the dragons, or the ancestors, our great mythical ancestors of time past, did devolve into this association of the colors of themselves denoting their temperament, which today they believe they're beyond that. They don't do that anymore. Like they said it was a bad time in our past. We don't do that anymore. We're trying not to do it anymore. But there was a time that unfortunately we did, and it was more like a self-fulfilling prophecy than anything. It wasn't that they like actually like the color of their skin, or that they actually had anything to do with their temperament. It was more that society treated them a certain way, or culture treated them a certain way, and so it became a self-fulfilling prophecy as they kind of were forced into that position. Make sense?
Yep.
That's what you get from it, because you get the more emotional aspect of it. You, as he starts to divulge some of this information, think about it logically, and think about some of the books that you have read about these things, and start to think paleontologically and archaeologically. The most discerning factor that you have found is that in the bones that you have found of these dragons is that their skeletal structures actually remarkably are quite drastically different, especially the shape of their skulls, where the holes would be of if they had horns, the types of like spinal columns, meaning that every single one of the dragons that you have come across, or the bones of, including your scale, came from a different color. So the one that had spatial distortion must be a different color than the red one that you found and the black scale that you have. And with that, their makeup, like the shape of your scale, is entirely different than the fossilized one that was found in the red one, meaning that they actually have wide ranges of their species, which could mean different formations in brain chemistry, different formations in ability, different formations in physicality. It could mean a lot of things. So it's just like saying, it's like equating them to humans. They're of wide regions, or just sapiens, period. Just sapiens, whether it be like just primates, just primates, period, is like equating it to dragons, because there's such a massive spread from everything from gorillas to, well, gorillas are primate.
Yep.
Well, gorillas
Yeah, they are.
From gorillas to chimpanzees to Lucy to the missing link and to Neanderthals to Homo sapiens sapiens, like
Lemurs
it's
and-
and lemurs even,
Yeah.
like that's what you're seeing in the broad range of taxonomy and zoology of the dragons here, is that you're seeing that they had a vast assortment of different genealogical traits. So, and this is to you, this is fascinating. You're like writing this down. You're like, holy shit, I could make a doctoral thesis out of this. Like, I could this is an amazing discovery. Granted, this is all conjecture at the moment, but the evidence backs it up. This would definitely have to be submitted to some sort of council in order to get approval and be considered as fact, but your postulate is right on. And you're understanding that if these three possible species or subspecies of this species existed, what's to say that there weren't
Others.
countless others?
Every aspect of magic could potentially have had its own.
Yes. And as that's the next my point. As a wizard, you understand
Well, because each one was attuned to a different.
exactly. If the red dragon had fire, like evocation magic, and this black, we don't know, and this other dragon that you found had some sort of like conjurations, temporal, spatial magic, that means like each one of them, and there could be hundreds, it could be thousands of variations, had some sort of connection to magic as we know it,
In its very bones.
in its very innate essence of existence. Which brings up another thought. Natural 20, a 28. The language of the arcane is very, very similar to the draconic that you have, and you like draconic.
Compared it.
It's a comparative, like you're not sure which one roots from the other, but they seem to have the same origin. Like Romance languages have the same Latin origin,
Right.
meaning that, and the connection that pops in your head is like, holy shit! Did magic come from dragons? Like, is the origin of magic originally from these ancient creatures?
Or are they the physical?
Manifestations
Yeah.
of it.
Right.
Like, so it's, again, chicken or the egg thing. Did magic come from dragons? Or were dragons born of
Yeah.
pure magic?
Yeah.
Immaculate conception.
I'm
Something like that, yeah.
writing this all down. Gotta tell Penny and
I just-
this fellow.
If we're talking this through, like that was my thought. Your dragons breathe fire. That I do know. But their fire seems to be different because your fire's cold. It's not hot. It's not fire.
Right.
Right.
Whereas the red dragon was fire. The other dragon we found was, I don't know how you make a space breath, but I'm assuming it had space breath.
I mean, Trishani does it all the time with like her stuff. She makes people float.
And you, Ermgrim, said that there were only 4 primordial fires.
So, according to what there's, I mean, from
What is your blue fire?
well,
Is it an
from the
even hotter
liturgy,
fire?
from the liturgy of Kosuth, there are 4 keepers of
Okay.
the 4 flames,
Yes.
and my flame is the blue fire. It's mostly just color based. They don't really do anything different, at least not that
just
I've
fire?
understood. Well, to me,
little
it's
hotter?
cool to the touch.
Okay.
I don't think it's like that for others, but
No.
Interesting.
I mean, yeah, he's lit himself on fire before. Right?
His fire is literally ice cold. It freezes things.
well, you don't have fire. You just spew ice. Yeah, you don't. When you breathe, it
doesn't look like
a
fire,
blizzard.
it
It
just
doesn't
looks
look like
like-
fire. It's
okay.
just
Never
it's just
mind.
an ice storm.
Never mind then.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have made that connection then. Fire's fire.
So I'm not. If what you're getting at is that like the red flame may be hotter than my blue flame, now let me tell you, there's the reason why my flame is blue. 1, magic. 2, different types of chemicals burn different colors. Doesn't mean they're any
Right.
cooler or hotter, but sometimes blue flame is hotter. So and Argus is like, huh.
Well, I mean,
Can you burn
if you look at a
yourself
forge,
with your blue flame? That's the question.
I mean, if that's my intent, why would that? I mean, I've not tried.
Have you seen this? Something.
Argus puts his hand up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a well. That's awesome.
that was lava. That wasn't fire.
no, that was him.
No.
No,
That was
him
fire.
burning.
That was his own fire.
Oh, that was. That's right. I thought he stuck his.
Yeah,
own
he took a
fire.
torch on his hand and
Yeah.
he just kept it there and just burned himself. And just
That wasn't.
I just
That wasn't
let
your
his flesh
flame.
drip off.
That was natural flame.
Right. That was also like what, session 3?
Yeah.
Something like that. Way back.
One of those ones.
Sorry, just
I mean, I don't know anything about a liturgy. No, I don't know anything in the liturgy of Kossuth and the following of them that has anything to do with special properties of different colors of the flames. But then again, I was just born into it, and I know a couple of things.
I was just
You know
curious if there was
anything,
any
Argus?
connection, right?
Yeah.
Like a red flame connected to a red
anything,
dragon
Argus?
that is the embodiment of flame. Like, I didn't know if anything worked that way.
Well,
but it doesn't seem like it does.
Wait, are you telling me you think dragons are real?
Dragons are real.
Bird's flame.
Do you see that sword he's carrying? That's made from the fangs of a dragon skeleton that we found.
I was in its mouth.
I am a descendant from dragons.
You're serious?
Deadly.
Yes.
An archaeological dig down on the Triway found a second dragon skeleton. We have evidence
Yeah, they're very real.
that they at least existed at one point.
So you're saying one dragons are real and their bones are buried in the Undermountain?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I have some information for Grindelwald.
Or not even the Undermountain. The one we found was out in the plains.
What plains?
Hest, right? Plains of Hest?
No, it was in the Fothed Ruins.
The Fothed Ruins. Have you heard of the spatial warping of the Fothed Ruins?
Of course.
The dragon we found there was spatially attuned. The bones of the dragon we found in the Undermountain literally blew up in fire, whereas the bones of the dragon in the Fothed Ruins warped space
Well,
and time.
This is way outside of my purview. I don't know.
That's fair.
I'm not a scientist,
I was trying to make
politician.
fire and dragons and different things connect, and it didn't work. But
Well, I mean, it may. I don't know. I'm not really the one. You know, if we ever make it back, if you want to ever
you're
accompany me back to Grimdamar, I could probably.
a craftsman, not a scholar.
I am a craftsman and someone who fell into the position of politician due to my genealogical heritage.
Understand?
Right.
But there is a high Immolate of Kossuth that works secretly in Grimdamar that might know more.
And back to your point earlier, there's no text or anything saying like a prophecy of, oh, if all the keepers come together, they do anything like that.
The
Just
biggest,
based off of that.
well, as far as prophecy is concerned, no, it's just. I mean, we might be making the prophecy here.
I was going to say, we got 2 already, or maybe even 3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Kossuth is inextricably linked, of course, as the tales say, to these 4 different flames, I
We get
perish the thought all 4 of us would be in one place.
you get you 3 in touch with the Herald of Ash.
Mm-hmm.
What happens?
What is your deity?
Warm blizzard.
Right? You keep saying that like they're a person?
No.
They're a god?
Somewhat.
Hey,
It's a great dragon.
I understand.
right?
I'm very secretive about my
Yeah, I'm just being
deity
quiet,
too,
that's
so it's fine. No,
I'm just being a jerk. That's
it's all right. No, if it has to do
little
with
personal.
your relationship with your deity, far be it from me. I understand. I have to be secretive about it too, or I risk prosecution on multiple fronts. So I understand. I won't push the issue. But yeah, I mean, I'd be interested. I've never actually met the Herald of Ash, but I'd be interested in doing so. I'd also be interested in meeting your deity, although who's to say they're on this plane or someone else, or if it's a deity, I mean, good luck. It's probably going to be the most difficult of the 4 to try to gather, if that's what we're trying to do. Who knows? We actually might set off a chain of events that could ignite the atmosphere and set the entire planet ablaze. Which,
That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, it's right up the alley for the Kossuth, you know, to
Make a great story
Argus
right
would
before we die.
make everything burn in flame and then, like, regrow and start
do
again,
that.
Who knows? Could be
you
that.
building up
It could be.
A good way to deal with the iron box.
It could be revitalizing his power and bringing him back to a true deity of the primordial material plane.
So your
Who knows?
fire is just fire.
Yeah, all fire is just fire.
The black flame doesn't extinguish.
No, hers
So
is...
it has a special property. Does
That's
your
true.
fire have a
Not
special?
that I have figured out as of yet.
Okay. Because Argus's fire seems to allow him to interact with souls.
Interesting. Well,
Did get that hammer from Corsu.
I haven't. Maybe it's because I haven't unlocked my Bankai yet. Figure that out. What, Argus? How did you figure out how to... Oh, shit. This is going to be bad. How did you figure out how to work with souls? This is something none of you know. Okay, here we go. Well,
It's mostly the hammer.
yeah, also the hammer. Hey, maybe I'll get myself a hammer.
Well, that's a very special
You're-
hammer, though. It's not just like
Right?
any old hammer.
This is probably something I should bring up with the amulet.
Pray on it. Maybe. Get back to us.
Yeah. I'll be like, Kosut, what the fuck?
This guy gets a hammer, but not me.
He gets his hammer and skull. No one gets flames that can't be extinguished, but I just get woo woo blue.
I mean, there were also some sacrifices involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Some conditions to be met.
Of course.
We're saving us some lives.
Yeah.
I'm just...
In order for things to grow, things must burn and be destroyed, so the ash creates fertility for things to come. Yes, this is all part of the course.
What time is it?
Late
Don't we have an
morning?
appointment we have to
So
make?
it's not new. No, it's like you guys
What was
went
the-
to bed rather early. So it's like still mid morning.
No, we didn't.
You didn't went to bed late.
We went to.
We went to bed
Our rest was interrupted.
Transported.
We went to bed with the gypsy,
true.
and we got interrupted. Then we tried to 1 hour short rest in the jail that was interrupted, and now we've long rested after.
So
that.
it's I would
So-
say like it's just before noon.
yeah, I was gonna say it's like
That's true. That's true. So it's just before
10 or
noon.
11,
You guys have to meet these people. I believe. What was it like? Sometime
a little
like
afternoon, early afternoon,
early afternoon.
because they didn't
So
want to
anytime
leave.
between like 1 and 2.
They're recovering from hangovers,
Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
specifically said they didn't want to leave early.
Yeah,
It was going to be
You're not gonna do
sometime.
that. They're doing late
afternoon.
checkout for their Airbnb.
So, Ermgrim,
Having a good time.
what was the city you wanted to get back to?
Grimdramar.
Grim. Grim from Grim. Grimdamar. But
He's one for cute nicknames, just like a lot of other.
He's like most known.
Gonna make a meme
Yeah.
about this.
I mean, Boots isn't my real name. Just throwing that out there.
Underdark city, mostly Durgar.
If we can get you
Well,
to,
I wouldn't say city. Well, the Durgar don't have cities. We have strongholds.
if we get you to Steercrack, you had mentioned something about possibly taking advantage of the situation. Would that be far enough in your journey
You mean
to contact your people? If we support you in becoming a leadership
if you
of Steercrack,
sponsor my rise to power in Steercrag?
if that could be something that could be done, could you contact your people from Steercrag?
Yes, it's no more of a.
Could you connect the two?
If I'd get myself a ride, it shouldn't be
Cultures.
more than a 2 days tunnel to Grimdarmar from Steercrag.
Oh, okay.
A little bit more if I'm on foot, but no, it's on the western side of the mountains, in the middle area.
Is it under mountain or is it under dark?
It's Underdark, for sure. Underdark. It's a stronghold that one of the more major strongholds of Durgar. It has not.
You said west. Okay, never mind.
I'm sorry, east. Meant
So it's under the maw.
so it's technically Steercrag. Well, it's
Steercrag's on the
so
border.
like the mountain itself is wide ranging. It's several of hundreds of miles wide. Okay, and so Steercrag
under mountain,
is
under dark.
near the eastern edge. Is near the eastern edge of the Razorfang
Yes.
mountain range.
Yes.
Grimdamar is the same, probably just a little bit farther north, maybe just a little bit, but deeper as well.
Okay.
So it's actually, I would say, it's halfway point between the fungal forests and Steercrag. What you
Mushrooms.
Undermountain
Yeah.
people use for most of your food. It's called.
Speaking of which, mushroom stew for breakfast.
Yay!
You're a cleric, right?
Follower of Kossuth.
You have like healing, magic.
Do you have a
Hey,
domain in particular you favor?
domain of flame.
Well, he follows the light.
I mean, I can make big balls of fire. I mean,
Big blue ball.
Do you focus more on the light, the forging aspect, the life aspect?
I mean, light sounds about right.
Okay.
Although probably a point of contention for being Daragar and Underdark and having light sensitivity and having being a keeper of the blue flame, not really who is the best. So
You have healing.
yes, I can cauterize your wounds.
Can you fix us?
Fix you?
The
I mean, what you
Do you have
what you have
spells of
broken
rest-
is beyond fixing. I think, at least by me.
Do you have spells of restoration?
we've seen some of the
Oh,
high clergy,
like purifying you with fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Possibly.
but they still are alive. Yes.
Not death rights.
Yeah.
Oh,
Healing rights.
I can get rid of poison in your body.
That's fine. It,
I can do that one.
And
Argus-
boil your blood without it being hot, so I burn all the poison.
Argus, on a range of 1 to 20, where is he compared to you?
Pathetic.
Okay. So if
He's like, I'll beg your pardon.
Kossuth hasn't given you the ability, he probably doesn't have it either.
Well, I don't know about you. All seem like a mercenary band of combat from what I've seen. Like I spent most of my life in politics.
That's the easiest way to explain it, yes.
Well, I spend most of my life in politics, and granted, I know how to summon a weapon from my god and ride a worm, and so I'm no spring chicken. But
Incredibly lucky bumbling idiot.
I am not. Excuse me.
No, us. Us. We're talking about that.
Right.
That's the real simple way to describe
I'm
it.
no green.
I'm not saying it's good luck, I'm not saying it's bad luck, but incredibly lucky bumbling band of random people.
What I witnessed from you is an indication of your expertise. You're more experienced in combat.
That's
That's fair.
fair
But-
to say.
I was like being eaten for half that combat.
Granted,
You ran off on your own. That was your fault.
It was quite a scary situation.
Sometimes when you run off on your own, it works very well. Other times when you go off on your own, it doesn't work at all.
the fungal forest he's referring to is the
Yeah, one of those cities.
yeah.
you
No,
told
well, the
us.
fungal forest he's referring to is actually on your map. You pull your map. It's called the Mica Wold. The Mica Wold, WOLD. It's on the map. It's pretty much. It's like
Denderall.
it's like the fertile fields, underground fields that create massive fungal forests. So
There's a city
Yes.
in there called Donderall.
yeah, Donderall is like the farming
Capital city,
the
yeah.
farming capital. Like it's like pretty much it's responsible for a lot of export of food.
Yeah.
It does a lot of that. It pretty much keeps most of the Razorfang Mountain Range fed with whatever is not imported for food.
So
Um,
Grimm's Grim.
it's about like halfway between Donderall and Steercrag.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say too far from Kumkuldir. Probably I would like, for all intents and purposes, like straight down from Kumkuldir.
Okay. So we definitely have to get the fair spec. Our goal was to go to the
You want a fair spec or Steercrag?
Steercrag. And our goal was to go to the group we signed up with
Yeah.
Right.
and tell them we found a shortcut.
Either a shortcut a little bit more dangerous, but or
We can get them to Steercrag in, you said, 5 days. So
Yeah,
that would
or-
cut a week off of their journey,
Right.
perhaps?
Well, the cool thing is that we can actually cut through an underground passage. It's technically not onto the mountain. It's technically part of the plains, the Greater Protectorate. Not technically legal, but they only know the they only really own the land. Granted,
Down
there's a
in the
lot of
plains.
political stuff right now. Their borders have been pretty ambiguous for a while, so they only know the only other overworld anyway. So we just kind of like
Below the foothills.
the way the crow flies, rather than going all the way to the Triway and then taking a right angle. We just go from Minheim, crow flies straight to Clearcrag, under all of it, cut diagonal. Right? It'll cut so many days, and if there's rumblings and I can hitch a ride, I can bring a couple of you with me. I'm not sure if I can bring.
You're a worm rider, so you know how to capture them or utilize them,
I know how to
not get eaten.
gauge their temperaments and like pretty much think of me as a snake charmer.
The tunnels you know of, are they wide enough for traders' wagons?
The tunnels we'll be traveling are worm tunnels, so most definitely, yes. Most of what my people travel are worm tunnels.
Okay.
That's fair.
And it's the safest place to be, really. You have to go a little bit off the beaten path to find another worm because they rarely back.
I mean, if they've already left the tunnel, there's nothing left to eat. So
And are we aligned that if the group doesn't want to go this way, we will just put our contract back with them and say, okay,
buy it
very
out,
well. Yep.
Yeah,
just
so that we're
send it
not
back.
breaching and
Yep.
go with you.
Sounds good.
Give us a little bit of time. I don't know if you want to just stay here at the hut.
How many
but-
carts?
You can come with
Did you
us.
say? How many carts did you
I
say?
don't
I
know.
don't know.
There was two carts of
carts.
saltpeter. Remember?
Yeah.
And 2 carts. I wish I had my equipment. I could hook them up to the tail end of the worm, and put them on sleds, but that's gonna take a bit. And I wish I had them on equipment.
Is it something we can make here in a couple
If
hours?
we got wheels, all I gotta do is take off the wheels and put a couple
Sledges.
sled bales and sledges on there. Hardest part is make sure that the way is smooth, which is why I usually tow it with the worm, because I not kick it down a little bit to make sure that it's nice and pressed on the bottom so it doesn't hit it and go and just clatter everywhere. Make sure we go at a little bit of a slower pace so that I could go full tilt to boogie and get there in like 8 3/4. Maybe. Roll an insight check.
Yeah, that's like,
He's bragging.
yeah.
That was 5.
Do you want Argus to roll an insight check? Or
Absolutely, because he's like
Argus would be like, no,
you're pathetic.
Of
of
course.
course. 11.
11.
Anything he's trading.
He's amazing.
He's just not quite sure if he's his brother or his enemy. Like-
Right. Just like, eh.
He's not a part of the clan. He's not.
No, but there is definitely an innate brotherhood.
Yeah.
Eleazar, are you still with us?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, we just got you out of jail after a month. I just wanted to make sure you still plan to
Oh, yeah.
come along with us.
Yeah.
You see, as you start talking to Eleazar about this, Renua is in the back, and you just see her, just kind of whole demeanor is very crestfallen, or crestfallen.
Yes.
Oh shit! It's very crestfallen as she kind of just like pokes at the still lit forge.
And you?
I'm not sure I'm broken.
With us?
In a sense.
Hmm. And so Eleazar is paying attention and wants to see if he has any kind of insight to what she's talking about.
I mean, she's.
You can roll an insight
torturing
check. Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like what's going on?
You can roll it an advantage because this is. You guys spent quite a bit of time together, and none of the best.
Mhm.
But you gave her that locket, so she's
Oh,
actually under
well,
her
you know,
own
it'd be a grocery store. Or 7-Eleven.
Well, what's the total on your insight then? 11 plus what?
I don't have any. Oh no, it's okay. So it's +3, so it's 14.
14.
Yeah.
You gaze at her for a moment, and you meet her gaze. And it only lasts for 2 seconds because she finds herself unable to maintain the gaze. And she looks to the side, to the right, and down, looking back into the embers of the fire. This is the face and the visage of somebody who, whether they had the full faculty of an agency of who they are during the time that you were imprisoned, tortured you excruciatingly, had your body upon a rack, stretched you until some of your arms popped out of their sockets. Their face still and stoic, giving no emotions, not breathing, no sounds of, they didn't have to breathe, no sounds of heartbeats, no sounds of breath, no sounds of like licking their lips, like none of that, because she didn't have any of that. So just this robotic, stoic, non-feeling entity that was charged with torturing you. Not like, wasn't waterboarding or like severe torture, but it was painful torture. It was meant to make you feel pain. And you now understand, well, have you guys told them about the host and the whole, like, plans within plans yet?
No.
Not really. Okay.
We haven't had time.
Not really.
Wait until we were somewhere secure.
Okay, so this individual was unfeeling and tortured you. And you see them now, and you look at their face, and it's flush with emotion. Granted, not blood, but just flush with emotion. You see guilt, distraught, grief.
Before, she would have just had like an emotionless mask.
Yeah, it would just been very stoic,
Like,
just nothing. And,
now she's showing like emotions on her.
and she just,
Since we brought her
with
back,
your insight check, you're getting the sense of like,
she's back to the Pernua we knew.
you know she can't die. And to her, knowing what she's done and being conscious of everything that she's been forced to do, that's torture.
She was with us when we were traveling, though, right? So she was one person, and then when you got back, she sort of wasn't that same person. Now she's back to the person she was with us originally.
And you just get this, just, it's palpable, this sense of,
Guilt.
I'm not worthy, I'm so guilty, I've done the worst thing imaginable to you. Like, she would fall on your sword if you asked her to.
Well, unfortunately, there's part of me that probably wants her to fall on the sword, but then the paladin side of me, so it's kind of a struggle for me as well.
You're both bound to vengeance
You're a paladin of vengeance, though. Would
Right.
you want vengeance
on her.
on her directly?
No, I want to go for the chief, the one who's
The
in control.
control, the puppet
Interesting.
master.
Okay, so this is a big like, character development milestone for Eliezer. I want to say, please roll a religion check for it.
Okay. Is that could be an advantage?
It's a big moment.
Here's what I'll say. It's not an advantage, but I will say for the rest of the party here, you can sense that there is some sort of build-up of a moment here. The tension is palpable. If any of you guys would like to do anything to try to diffuse it or engage in it and help, you're welcome to do that. You are welcome to, like, inspiration, guidance, those types of things. Like, you're welcome to do that. Or if you wanted to help to try to give advantage, that's the kind of thing that would be welcome here. You can feel it in the air. It's almost like the whole room gets colder just because, like, your protection aura just like spreads into the creeks, and you just start to see the fire start to like die down a little bit more as the cold wind starts to get into it. And I'm just like, whoa, it's my mom's forge.
But he would slap you and just be like, "You okay?" Guidance.
Okay, so
does guidance.
what?
Ken does guidance.
That's what Ketten said?
Yeah, on the UC chat.
Okay, cool. Ketten uses guidance. Oh yeah, I do. That's what you see it here.
Just calm.
It says God, the word guidance. Love you, Ketten. So that's a D4. You can add a D4 to this roll.
Okay.
I just everybody calm down. I don't trust her either, but we still need her right now. Trying to calm things down. See if I can get a little.
Sure, yeah, and that's the cool thing. You don't have to like sing for it to be inspiration. You are a man of words.
Yeah.
A man of letters. So just any of your speech, if you decide to imbue it with magic, you can do
That's
so.
what
You can
I'm
also take
doing.
the inspiration as well. That's a D8, you said? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you can take a D4 and a D8 and add it to this D20.
And I'll just sorry.
Go ahead.
I'll just get in between her and you, just kind of being there in case something does go down, because
Right.
hoping that. You know.
So here's the deal.
Because in the meantime, I pull Warm Blizzard out.
Okay, so I was about to say we don't see any like aggression here, but
Oh,
I have to
no.
take that back because
Yeah.
from him you sense a like vengeance is a dish best served cold. It was
Literally.
so where from her you feel I submit.
Take it.
Like I'll take it, and the thing is like she can't die, so no matter what he does to her, he can just keep doing it again and again and again and
Yeah.
again. So which is that's a lot, guys. You
He's-
pull Warm Blizzard.
Yeah, and he's torn because it's almost as if you watched someone do something to your family, like for someone to like kill a child and then you're having to forgive them. It's that type of emotion. So it's your initial reaction is to just
Granted, this is for
chop her
yourself.
down. Yeah, this is for me,
Yeah.
but there's that paladin side too. So there's a lot of emotion tied in this. And so Warm Blizzard comes out and she steps in the middle and he's just nostrils are flaring.
Do me a favor, roll me a charisma check.
I'm that completely socially awkward guy that's just like, you're coming right. I don't understand any of this.
It's like, oh, I didn't know you guys were exes.
7.
7. Unfortunately, that is not enough to. You just go in the middle and be like,
Hey guys, I mean, come on.
You start awkwardly dancing.
Yeah.
It's a party. We're all friends here.
We're all friends here.
Unfortunately, it's not enough to give him advantage on your roll. But
And he's walking towards her with Warm Blizzard just
dragging on the
dragging
floor, and
on
as
the
it
ground
drags,
as it gets cold.
yeah.
Little, like,
As it
sparks
drags, you
of
see
ice.
like the crystallization kind of spread out from the tip of the blade as it like carves a path into the wooden floor of the Firebeard household.
Yeah.
And every time you take a step, you just see like the puff of cold air come out from under your foot, and the cracking of frost coming out between your talons.
Let's see here.
So then add a D4 and a D8, and
28.
then you added the D4 and the D8 already,
So it's
and
28.
and your religion score
And my religion is 0. So yeah.
28. Okay. A tenet rings hard in your mind, by any means necessary. And then another tenet rings hard in your mind. Oh, I actually have.
Is there someone Roman?
Kenton came in.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
His wife said he was
bud.
being too mopey.
Just trying to play D&D. Okay. Good to see you.
So here's the deal. The first tenet that comes into your mind is by any means necessary. For you,
It's his sword.
vengeance. You just hear the cracking of ice upon leather. Then another tenet comes to mind. No mercy for the wicked. And you grab the sword with your other hand. And you pull it back. And all of you look like you're about to witness. Ermgrim is just like,
Oh shit.
sheesh. Then another tenet rings in your mind
As he continues to walk towards her.
as you continue
Sort
to
of
just
menacing.
jaunt towards her. Restitution. If my foes wreak ruin on the world, is because I failed to stop them. I must help those who are harmed by their misdeeds. And just you kind of exhale, and the kind of boistered, held up, entered like cold air that you held up that kind of like propelled you forward starts to deflate a little bit. And then the last tenet comes to mind. Fight the greater evil. Faced with a choice of fighting my sworn foes or combating a lesser evil, I choose the greater evil.
As a tear rolls down his face and freezes,
Drops
he
to
puts
the
his sword
ground.
back.
And there's this palpable moment as the frost begins to recede. The forge gets a little warmer. For Nua, for the first time in a while, exhales, perhaps in a moment of just emotional force of habit, kind of falls to one knee, just hangs her head before him as you gaze down at her. Hears that most of the immediate aggressive tension has felled. What do you do?
I grab her by her arm and lift her back up.
She looks at you, surprised, dumbfounded.
And I put my arm on her shoulder. But I don't say anything. And I just walk back away.
Are you in?
You see
Do we want her in?
thick, coagulated tear of blood start to stream down right side of her face.
I mean, he literally told us she is his eyes.
Well, I mean, this anyway.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. At least we know what she is.
Yeah.
Better the sensor you know than the sensor you don't.
Yep. Boom.
gotta use them both anyway.
She's speechless, without words. She just looks at Zemdak. And she's just like,
We're friends, right?
she takes her leather, blood-stained and tattered cloth bracer and just wipes it off.
I mean, if you want to go home, I understand that too, but
She shakes her head.
you still need to find your peace.
She nods.
And I don't think you're going to find it without us. Or we at least walk the same path.
She nods. She goes over to the side where her tool belt, like her cinder scabbard and everything, had been set down. She picks it up. She buckles it back on. She tightens it. She doesn't look at anybody in the eye, but she just looks down at like a 45-degree angle and just nods.
Yay,
Yes,
more
really.
friends.
Yeah.
And as I'm walking away, I get past the group and drop to one knee. And I'm obviously praying just for that peace. Warm Blizzard, please.
You do so. And with a religion check of 29, all of you...
28.
28. You feel, although there are no open windows in this area, this cold and bitter wind blow and blow through the home. The fire of the forge flickers and almost extinguishes. And you feel that feeling when you have a minty gum and you drink ice water and it's just too much, you know, in your mouth, and you exhale and you just, without even trying, just a bunch of the stuff nearby just covers in ice. You now have that enhanced breath weapon.
Oh, shit. I'll tell you about that but later.
Warm Blizzard has designated that the choice you made today
Was the correct.
is aligns with her tenets, and you are indeed a worthy follower. Well, champion, I should say. So you just kind of like feel the pressure of what would be something heavy and hard and cold upon your shoulder as you kind of dip your shoulder down and lean, and you just do that exhale, and just a bunch of stuff just turns to frosty ice around you without even meaning to do it. It's not like a blast. It's just that exhale of like a dog howling in the winter, and they just have that condensation cloud. It's kind of like that.
Oh, it feels like a spring day back home.
Yeah.
Did either of you have a chance to talk to Safka? You have sending too, right? Did you get a chance to talk to Safka?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to rally the troops.
Yeah, we need to go see about that.
Trying to figure out where we're at.
first. But
Yeah, how does it?
Because we don't know where she ended up.
Right.
If she was teleported.
yeah.
But you didn't have any, obviously, we were exhausted. You didn't have a chance to speak to her. And
I had nothing.
I don't know if we want to waste,
None of us did.
I don't know if we want to waste the magical abilities until we're sure we don't need them yet today.
Yeah.
I think we need to get moving and at least get one of you guys checked out.
Yeah, what are we going to do about...
Do we have the money and the diamonds to fix one of you?
So I've got some gold that I said I'll be willing to give.
I have 600 gold worth of diamonds.
Okay.
Yeah, 600 gold worth of diamonds.
I mean,
Which is
it
greater.
Some of that
it has to be one of us. It should be the one who can bring us back from, Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No offense, but
I mean, I get it.
The situations we find ourselves in, though, are getting more and more dangerous. To have someone that can just be snuffed out like
This
this
is not good.
neither of you.
is more.
a little bit of gold.
I have
some too.
Not tons.
I only have the gold that we were advanced for the job we might be canceling.
Right.
Have we talked to them?
Oh my
No,
goodness.
we're talking about. But did we decide whether or not we could? Would your mom be okay with us hawking anything that was left over?
I mean, wouldn't be the first time I've done it.
Fair enough.
You've gone back to old houses and robbed them
Hey,
before?
teacher.
Yeah, what's up?
Where was
I
that
mean-
information? I'm trying to
I don't know if
find.
you really want to call it.
It should be in your chat.
Old
with
house?
me, right?
Old houses, yes.
And I believe I did.
Mine, not necessarily.
At least they'd be going to say,
Well, lawful good is relative.
Right, it's relative to your laws, right? So,
If we want,
Yeah.
you can screenshot
So-
that, or copy that, send it to
be worthwhile to save that.
how much did she charge us? It was
Right, but
the
That's
diamonds
two
plus
Yeah.
350.
because it's the
350?
And then
No,
like
wait.
a 350 gold donation.
for
So total of 400 then?
right. I have it. I have it
450.
written down. Give me 1 second.
Has anyone asked if Ermgrim has the spell?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
he's a cleric, but he's lesser power than you.
Okay.
He's more a politician than a
You
fighter.
thought he was pathetic.
Yeah. You're like,
I mean, blue, right?
I'm so glad I played you properly.
He's blue. Dabu dee dabu die.
I was about to fucking say that. I was inhaling to say that because like he was blue and I was inhaling to go, and you said it too fast.
As someone who's looked at a lot of fire, white's the hottest, then blue, then red.
Right.
So I don't know if you have a whole lot of
Red
room
is
to
more
speak.
versatile. It's more common.
Alright, okay,
It's more everywhere.
enough. I'll have you know, I'm quite versatile.
He apparently
Helped you out.
And
didn't
Also,
Kept
he can
some
burn.
dice.
He can burn himself
and I
and
also
not
got your
hurt
life.
himself.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's helpful.
He can't do the cool
Then how is
cool
it
thing
hotter?
with the hammer.
the blue flame doesn't harm him.
right.
It harms. It's still fire, but
Who told him about my hammer?
You
You
did? You raised it.
I technically said something about souls. I technically brought up the soul.
You
So-
guys kind of allied to it too. You guys kind
I-
of spilled the
I
beans.
probably wouldn't have hit it anyway.
Yeah.
So
He did say that he hides his.
there's four
Well, yeah.
there's four flames.
Did I tell him why? I
No, we did
don't
not.
hide my worship.
We did. That did not.
No,
come
we
up.
did not.
Come on.
We learned that there's four primordial flames.
Right.
There's white, black, red, and blue.
Four corners of the world.
Four corners of the world. The warm blizzard represents the white flame. The herald of ash that we know is the crystal brand leader is the black, and you two are the blue red.
Greater restoration requires how much? For
100
diamonds,
gold
100
and
gold and diamonds. So it's 350 gold pieces for the service,
Yep.
plus the 100 gold and
Right.
diamonds.
That's what we were
So a
thinking.
total of 450.
Okay. So for 700, we may be able to fix both of you. Because we have the diamonds. But that brings us down to 400.
Halor could only do it once per day. Maybe if
Right.
we go to the Raven Queen, we can do both real quick.
The Raven Queen's not there during the day.
No.
Right. And the cog god, you were like, no, they're a little crazy.
Well,
Not the exact right thing.
No? Are we wrong? It's something I probably would.
well, it's the autumnal festival, which the Raven Queens were facilitating.
It was the Ravens Queen's festival,
Raven
which
Queen's
her
festival.
bigger clerics were out preparing.
And
for
yesterday
it,
was the last day of the festival.
not
Right.
doing
But
their jobs
who knows?
necessarily.
Because there were still people there.
But yes,
The high priestess was like in charge, or the high priest. Yes, the high priest, because both of them have high priestesses.
Yes.
The high priestess of the Raven Queen was the one facilitating the whole thing. That was
Yeah.
like where the old man was on his deathbed, and they were everyone was giving thanks to him and letting him know that he was loved in life, and she was helping and guiding and hand holding his soul off to the greater next plane, that kind of thing. And so,
We all got bored and decided to go jump.
Yeah, you get
Watching him
super
die.
drunk. Yeah.
I was already there.
I mean, we were already drinking.
so she may potentially be back in the temple.
Yeah.
And we could get one temple to heal one of you, one temple to heal the other. But we don't necessarily know what the Raven Queen's charge for such an ability.
Raven
Right.
Queen could even.
She couldn't do it on me because the ailment that I had was related to darkness.
Yeah.
But then
Darkness couldn't heal darkness.
Yeah.
Light had to heal darkness.
Right.
But this is more,
Just fucking clay.
stone, earth?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What if it's clay? Can we just harden it inside of you? And
Light
get it
or
out?
dark necessarily has a
We have
weakness.
five people.
Is there a,
like more microbial than anything.
is there Morden?
It's like you drank bad water. And it's now
I
in your
meld
blood.
into
some
stone.
Montezuma's
Does
revenge.
that clay fall out?
You want to meld into somebody's body by melding into stone. You can sure.
No, I
certainly
meant
try.
if that component is in me and I meld into stone, then that component is not actually a part of me, and it would fall
He
off.
can fade through earth and
You
stone.
can certainly try.
I'm not gonna. That's just ridiculous.
Gond may be able to help, but he's more focused on creation than healing.
Yeah, but we might be able to give him some of this armor and stuff for
That's true.
the money.
Yeah.
Versus
A barter.
Materials.
Right. And is there a Morden? Temple of Morden here?
Yes.
Yes.
So that could also be good, right? Because it's crafting and things
Um,
of that nature. And the
yeah.
earth.
The Temple of Palor you went to, the priestess was Nafala Vorguv.
Yes.
Okay, I mixed up my. Yikes.
You mixed up
Your
his water.
priestesses?
My. Yeah.
Fall of
mixed up
Orgu,
my-
yes. High Priestess of Palor.
No, I'm rolling.
There
It's
was.
gonna be a fun.
This
Oh, I
one
never
got the
use
ones.
those. I never-
That was the only ones there. though.
they've never been in the approved list.
Even this one has never been in the approved list.
Is that the black one?
Yeah, that's the Black Plague.
That's wild.
So I'm so sorry. So the Temple of Palor has a priestess, Nafala Vorguv. The Temple of the Raven Queen has a priest, high
Yes.
priest.
Right.
And they all may not charge the same amount.
Correct.
No, they could also ask us to perform services for them too in exchange. We never know.
Right.
So sorry if I messed up that canon. It's okay.
And the interesting thing is the priestess in Palor didn't say anything about my.
The High Hammer
Yeah.
of the Temple of Morden here is a priestess as well.
Yeah.
So we have options rather than just going to Palor.
We also have
Yeah.
Temple of Gond,
Yeah.
the High Cognister Blingrin.
Right, which we talked about. We thought maybe perhaps,
Honestly,
although
yeah.
Gond is, I think he would be more appreciative of things we've created with our own hands rather than things created by another.
Yeah,
What,
that's the
what
thing.
if we went to the crazy dude down in the marketplace and just sold all this stuff?
Morden would definitely be into.
Healing you, perhaps.
So all
Yeah.
4 temples kind of have like a pairing thing. The Raven Queen and Palor temples work really, really well together. Like although they're opposite sides of the same coin, they have in this world they have. I would just send it to him in the Discord message. That way he can get all the
Gotcha.
info.
Okay.
But like
So then how
there are
does-
clerics that worship both, known as balance clerics. That and because the Raven Queen and Palor have an agreement, and so do their followers, and they work really, really well together. And like it's like two sides of the same coin that are extremely cooperative with each other. There's no like there's no butting heads happening between those two, even though they both represent night and day and moon and whatever, death and life. The same thing actually has to do with Moradin and Gond. And you just know this innately. You two just know this because you've been so exposed to it growing up. Gond is like, the tink, tink, tinkery, tink, tink, tink. Just by sheer happenstance has more tinkerers and gnomes as their followers and everything. Whereas, Moradin is crafters and working with their hands and making big things and girders and forge and smithing and stuff like that. But they both, again, are just two sides of the same coin that think of it more of like two sides of a 3-sided die, because the other one is the triumvirate that is in Thulmore Bed. And all those 3 pillars of the community, inventiveness, craftsmanship, and
Merchant
Money.
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 sort of the
Money,
merchant
which
side.
also kind of like alives to
Profit
the
and
use of
greed.
terrazine and magic into all these things and da 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 da, create a thriving society that is the Razorfang Agreement. So Gond and Moradin again work really, really well together. There are a couple things they don't agree upon, but what's the fun in having a partnership if there you don't have some differences?
You gotta organize your tools a different way, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
So maybe I suggest maybe we figure out the contract thing first, and then what we can do is maybe say, hey, you guys, if we take the shortcut, we'll get there sooner anyway. We can stay here for the day, convince them to stay if they do want to go with us, and then you guys can get healed afterwards, perhaps.
Well, we have a couple hours. Maybe
You have an hour.
Oh, no, then we need to go talk to them.
Yeah, bro.
Everybody gets good berries, and I
Okay.
cast mage armor.
Okay, you guys very done.
Great.
At noon.
Yeah.
It's fun when you specify what time.
Right. Like,
So, where are you guys headed?
I think we're headed.
Day is yours.
We're headed to meet the group we're working with.
the caravan.
Yeah, here.
Okay. So you guys head down to the Down and Dirty.
yeah. Do you mind actually if I go sit over in that little skylight area and just work on some stuff? I've had some things on my mind over the last couple of days. I just want to
Also,
down.
soak up a few last sun rays
Exactly.
before we go back into the dark.
Yeah, this talk of Underdark is even more scary than just dark.
I mean, we kind of went into the Underdark already a little bit.
A little bit, but he's talking days down too. That's
So,
scary.
land level, right? Mountain range, under mountain, under dark.
Yeah, but we go
Kind of.
down a little
There's
Yeah.
a difference,
We did.
right?
Yeah,
We
so
get down.
imagine.
Yeah.
So if this is the mountain,
There's a gray area,
This is like
and then there's
sea level.
underdark.
like land level,
Yeah.
and this is the mountain, and this is sea level. Minheim's like at the intersection of the two because it's like where the summit, where the foot of the mountain meets land, because it's half outside, half inside. Now, the Undermountain, which is just the underground, Razorfang Agreement, has to do with all of the interior of the mountain and a little bit below land level. Well, not just a little bit, quite a bit below land level. And then when you go really deep, you get into the Underdark,
Yeah.
which is technically an entirely another plane of existence.
Right.
Because there's a magical border that's very wibbly wobbly. It doesn't really, it's not really a border. It's just it's not
Journey
even
to
a
the
veil.
center of the earth, you technically go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Just because you're underground doesn't necessarily mean you're still.
Which technically could also mean if you did a plane shift, you could plane
Go to the
shift
Underdark.
You can also like ship out of the Underdark in an emergency too.
But every single tunnel,
You can get popped out of the Underdark.
every single tunnel that exists is technically a teleportation tunnel between those two realms.
So it's weird. It's like, imagine, it's not necessarily teleportation because technically they both are on the same physical plane-ish. It's just that
A shifting.
it just alides so smoothly into the other one that they are. Imagine taking like two pieces of Lego things that you've connected. Technically, one's from Star Wars and one's from Star Trek. But if you attach them, they're the same, and that you can walk across from one to the other. But they're still from two different universes.
Right.
It's like the universes is connected, or the plane is connected physically, although being two different planes of existence. It's really weird.
It's kind of like
But
the
There's no
building
custom set.
setup
So-
So you have to go through.
cross kind of.
Even going through the worm tunnels, we technically haven't been Underdark yet. We've been under mountain.
No, you fell down the Matra guy's tunnel.
Yeah, we did just.
That was deep enough to get to
That was
the
you were in the
Underdark.
Underdark that time.
Okay.
But it was like just the top of the Underdark, not.
Yes, we were surface layer under.
Just the tip.
God, the Matrix.
Just the tip.
So yeah, so I'll go hang out over there if you guys.
But
do
yes, as much sanity as you can
it. Okay.
store up.
Enhanceability for what you're doing.
Got some things that if you want to give me that, I can work on some other things. But I need to get some.
How much time you need.
I mean,
mean-
we're only going to be an hour to go talk to these guys. I don't
Also,
think
as we're
that-
going through town, like, can I grab some
Yeah,
foodstuffs?
I can
Sure.
work on some.
Yes.
Some
Yeah, I mean, you have to go.
some-
So here's the deal. You know that at this late, if they intend on leaving at like around 2, they're already at the Golden Gate. They're already like,
Yeah.
back stuff up, getting ready to go. They're not at the Down and Dirty anymore. So you're gonna have to go past the merchant quarter and
Yep.
the bazaar, like near the cenote area. Anyway, so
grab some like stew stuff, right? Like some root vegetables,
easily enough, I'll say you buy
some mushrooms,
for
and-
like 2 gold, you can get a week's worth of rations for
We
everybody.
had even more foodstuffs for Trishan because we had bought that before
It helps.
the
Fruit
We
is
still
if you
have
want
that
fruit.
steak.
That's a little bit more expensive. I'd say 5
right.
gold for a week's worth of fruit.
It doesn't have to be fruit.
yeah, I'm just doing food that's close enough to surface dweller food.
I
that
understand.
Yeah. I can stave off madness a little bit.
Okay,
She's
so
less
not a
likely to go
lot of
there.
that is sold here. That kind of stuff is just a little bit more expensive because things that are easier to grow are like root vegetables
Yeah,
Which is fine.
with like
I mean,
artificial daylight.
And there's not stuff outside.
There is,
Yeah.
but you have to go out. Well, no, you can still buy it here. I'm just saying it's more expensive, just because
carrots and onions and garlic, that kind of stuff.
carrots,
It's gonna
onions, mushrooms,
grow.
potatoes go
Yeah,
outside.
all that's fine because that's still like
It's going to be
Okay, fine.
enough,
that. Yeah.
close enough to what you're used to, to make you think.
You just don't want to be
Well,
doing
as you're
is
walking,
surface
roll a
areas
perception
every
check.
day.
Yeah. No good berries. No.
Heart
Just
attack and
yeah. Great food and water eventually will.
5.
5. You smell something. It smells good, but you don't know what it is. It smells familiar, like something like you know it, but it's also different. And it's really good.
Trot over to it.
Just like Dexter.
That smells delicious.
You find this guy that looks like he's grilling hard cheeses. And it is
So good.
it is some of the, like, it appears like they've got honey on them and they're put on like a roll of bread. So it's like grilled cheeses with honey and bread. And it smells amazing. Now, the cool thing with this is the way it's cooked. It's better if you eat it right away, but it also keeps. It's cheese, honey, and bread. So although the bread might get a little stale, none of it's going to go bad.
Definitely not honey.
I'll take 8.
8? Okay, cool. That'll be 1 silver per like. It's kind of like a mini cheese boat, like a cheese canoe in like bread with honey on top.
One for each of us. Oh no, I need 9. Sorry, I need 9.
Okay, so just give him a gold.
Yeah,
And then it'll be fine. Yeah, you get some of these.
because Pinjack's with us.
Right.
Yeah. Pinjack is still with you.
More friends.
Pinjack,
Our group is growing.
yeah, every time you guys have like done something, he's just been like,
He's just following behind me.
I know.
Like a little minion.
you know, so he's behind you because you're alone and doing your shopping, everything. And he goes like, is this really what you do all day long? This is your job?
Kind of.
You're insane.
Yeah. Chaos.
You could like
No,
die
no, no.
any second.
Chaos. Just embrace it.
I don't want to. Things were like cogs and gears go in certain places so that they turn in a certain way.
Yeah. But you have to make different sized cogs, yeah? You have to change.
Yeah, but if you just throw cogs in a clock, you'll break the clock.
You can build a new clock out of the
I
cards.
can go through
Oh.
dimensions.
Okay. Out of the chaos cogs.
You just take what you have and you make it work.
So speaking of which, when I was working at the Temple of God, well, trying to, I did this like cool anamorphous. It's actually a different shaped cog. It kind of looks like a teardrop, but when it turns, it makes different forces for different things. So
Sure.
So
Different speeds.
It doesn't have to be just circular. You know, it could be different.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I actually made a triangular cog, and it worked really, really well.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Like,
so like
it'll also change speeds, right? It'll speed
Exactly.
up, slow down, speed up, slow down.
yeah. So if
speed
something
up,
needs modular speeds or like non-consistent.
grilled cheese.
And he just scarfs it down. He's so hungry. He hasn't eaten since yesterday.
We
would
had
have
a little
gotten
breakfast.
breakfast.
Yeah, no, but he's hasn't had an appetite since
Sure.
he saw the dead bodies.
All of his friends are
Yeah,
dead.
that was just yesterday.
Also,
That was yesterday.
so the guy that you were working for, yes? Did you have a name for him?
Did I have a name? Oh, well,
Was it a title or was it a
for
name?
clandestine purposes, we didn't actually share our real names.
Sure.
So we just called him Moonray
Okay.
or the Moonray.
When we were cleaning up, I found a purse on Moonray that I'm guessing was what was funding your expedition. I'm holding on to those coins.
What?
They belong to you. Or they belong to the expedition. They're in my satchel. If you need them, or
Why?
when we get back to where we're going and you need to return them to their rightful owner, they're here. I just want you to know that they're here.
What if we get separated? Oh, then I'm dead.
I can give them to you
Right there.
if you think you can control that big of a purse. Can you keep that big of a purse safe?
How much is it?
A lot more than our parents ever made in their lifetimes.
Makes sense. I mean, he was gathering all the dues and the funding for the entire faction, that entire branch of the faction.
All I meant to do was to make sure that you know that I have them,
Okay.
and you can have them
You think
back.
it's safer with you than with me?
Do you think it's safer with me than with you?
Fair point. All right.
If at any point you need to dip into them, if you think for your mission they're useful,
Okay.
or we get to some place where you're ready to turn them back to your group, to the Smooth Hands Church, just let me know, and they're yours. There's
Right. Okay. Here's an idea. You hold on to them. If we should ever part ways for a reason that's not we're in danger, I will do my best to make sure they're. And I consider me to be in somewhat safe company. I will do my best to get it back to the powers that be.
correct. I wanted you to know.
How much is it? You said a lot. I don't want to know. It's probably better if I don't. Just don't steal from it. I guess. Just honor code.
Telepath. We need money.
Okay, cool. That money could go a long way to making sure people's lives are saved.
Yes, necessities only until we turn it back into your group. Or if you think there's something worth.
Also, seeing how much money you just throw around, I'm sure you have plenty. You don't need this, but
I don't have that much.
Or if you die.
What is in that purse is more than what I personally have.
Eleazar's just like walking by. If you die, in the background, and he's like, "That's a very good point." So if I die, see if you can get it to
The Church of Caladan.
the Church of
Smooth hands.
Caladan.
And we're all hearing this,
If
right?
you die, I will take a portion of it so I can revive you.
Granted, they don't have to hidden.
Yes.
Caladan Smooth Hands works together with followers of Elistrei.
Yes.
So
Oh, that's right. The moonbeam was from
Moonray.
Elistray. Moonray was from Elistray's.
yes, he was. Yes, the followers of Caladan Smooth Hands and the followers of Elistrei were working together.
More an
as
alliance
this-
of churches.
Yes, I mean this happens a lot. A lot of
Sure.
deities join partnerships in order to be more powerful. I mean, a lot of people are losing these faiths nowadays, so a lot of faiths are combining.
Would the churches miss the funds? They didn't return?
I
Sure,
mean,
that would be written off.
well, it's not the church; it's money to feed and extricate people's lives who are in danger because they don't want to be
Well-
in threatened positions. Okay, for the money for that was
Those
for this
specific
faction
funds
was to fund.
were for the Moonray to do what he needed to do. To find
They were for the Moonray to hire third-party help that are very, very, very good at smuggling people out of dangerous situations.
It's not
Okay.
having any material situation.
Yeah, so the Moonray was protecting people
Yes,
while also funding this expedition to find the idol.
yes.
The
That
idol
was that was Caladan's followers' objective, and then Moonray's was to smuggle people out to safety.
the idol is lost to us.
Right. Well, I gave it to that tall, scary, attractive.
I gave it to her so that she wouldn't kill us.
Right. She didn't. That's good. She ran away though, so that's difficult.
So
She killed one of her own people too.
technically, as long as we make Steercrag a safer place for the common folk,
We burned it.
that is fulfilling the mission. Correct?
She wanted us to burn it.
I'm sorry. Are you trying to
Fire in there.
rationalize why you should keep the money?
I'm trying to understand what the money's purpose was. Money
The
money
purpose
is
was to
money is a tool.
two-pronged thing was to trying to find this idol so we could.
We found it, we lost it, we're not getting it back.
Okay, well, I mean, we could still repurpose that money, and the other one was to fund third-party smuggling rings to bring people that no longer want to be under the thumb of the more oppressive and vengeful followers of Lolth of the Dark Elves, to bring to the moonlight of Elistrei and to safety.
Okay. So if
Granted, I don't know why I'm telling you this in public. I really shouldn't.
we're just walking through
I
a
shouldn't be
crowd.
telling you this at all.
If we take that money and we put it towards that same purpose, would that be a good usage of it instead of just turning it back over to one of the churches or the other?
You mean take it as payment to go smuggle people out of the Underdark?
Or make a place, a sanctuary for them to retreat to?
You know what? If you think you guys can handle smuggling a group of Dark Elves out of the Underdark, it's yours. I don't really have the authority to make that decision, but I think it's.
I mean,
You're probably better than whoever it is what we were going to hire.
Probably. The way I see it, money is a tool just like a hammer. You use it to do a job.
Okay.
You spend it to get what you want. I was trying to figure out what the purpose of this tool was. If you have told me, that's all I needed to know. Thank you.
All right.
If we get to a purpose where you want it back, where you think you are ready to leave, go back to the churches, let me know. It's yours.
And are we all listening to this conversation?
Well, you can if you want to.
I'm not being.
I will totally
I'm not being
And I
clandestine.
look over the log and I'm like,
I'm just gonna go. Conk. I'm gonna send the Zemdak. Conk's next upgrade. Come on, man.
I'm not going to spend it for selfish purposes, but
Granted, you have to understand that the longer these people remain under the thumb of people that of oppression, that they don't that the more in danger they
yes.
and become. So if you're going to take on this job, you should do it sooner than later.
Oh yeah. I mean,
And I don't know the specifics of where we're supposed to go to pick these people up. You're going to have to come up with a call to the moon ray of Steercraft when we get there.
yes.
If there is one there, if there's still.
If we come across nothing else, the money goes to him. If we come across a situation where that money is appropriately spent doing what it needs to do, that was more what I was fishing for with you.
18. That's what 18.
It is to be spent in the honor of Elistraki or Caladran.
Duran.
Caladran.
Look, Giz, I trust you. Just don't fuck me, all right?
I won't.
Good.
As you have understood, chaos.
All right.
Nope.
Chaos.
I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. Just make it work for me too.
I'm trying to make chaos work. That I just needed to know the purpose.
You should want to eat this now.
I got my own. I got one for
You should
everybody.
eat it while it's warm.
I got one for
The
everybody.
honey is divine.
Oh, I heat everything up. It'll always be warm. Don't worry about it.
Pastries, scones. They're like cheese and honey scones. Here you go.
So I wish I would have disguised myself as
Are they warm?
Tony Shalhoub. I think so you say the name.
Tony Shalhoub?
Yeah. The monk
Tony
guy.
Shalhoub? What was his name?
Shalhoub, right?
Yeah, Shalhoub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Amazing.
and then I'm going to have Moonchild disguise herself. I'm just going to go with her for her as Missy Pyle, who was the alien that he falls in love with in Galaxy Quest.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes, the really weird one? The
Yeah.
one? Oh, God.
Missy Pyle.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
I know her. She's in a bunch of other things, too.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of stuff. But
Mad TV or something like that.
I don't know.
As we walk through the crowds, what is she doing?
I'm sorry, what's the Calhoun?
Tony Shalhoub. Is that what
Tony Shalhoub? I can't remember.
Shalhoub.
Yeah,
The dude who played Monk and the dude who gets his head blown off all the time in Men in Black.
yeah.
Right. God, that really stings. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're Tony Shalhoub?
Yeah.
And
she's Missy Pyle.
And Moonchild is Missy Pyle?
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's the most weird humans walking down. You're okay.
They're not as weird as some other folks.
Right, yeah, no.
Let's be very clear.
So you
just
look
look like
really
a
just
human.
like,
I don't want your problem.
average, just regular, run of the mill human
picks-
couple just
yeah.
walking down the.
He picks non-pretty people that just
Yeah.
sort of blend into the crowd.
Exactly.
They're all just until you get to know someone. They're that's
As we walk through the crowd, what is she doing? Like,
Right.
Probably exactly what that alien character would be doing.
Okay.
It's kind of like
Standing and be like
sure to be true.
right.
very uncomfortably,
looking at
just
people
like
at like
trying to
somebody
be
that-
human.
That's the thing. Like somebody like looks at her and makes eye contact, and she just locks that eye contact and just smiles at them and just watches them as they go past, and they're like,
Is she still glowing?
very good question.
Because of what today is?
She
still
absolutely has
glowing?
she has a radiance. It's like you know when you see somebody and they're just like they're glowing. It's kind of like that, except it's almost visible.
So have I ever seen
your
an asshole?
workout done.
Every once in a while, somebody stops and
Pronounce it how it'd be like. Hold on.
Have I ever seen one before? So I can kill log to put a halo on top of it.
Roll a. I'd say roll a luck check.
19.
19. You have seen an Asimur before. They do not usually have celestial things like halos or wings. They don't usually have them. Only ones that are have either bred intentionally celestial heritage, or it's very, very strong, or they're in the service of something, or they're actual heroes, or those types of things to manifest.
Okay.
That would be more of like a person of legend would have those types of things if they had that lineage. But just a run-of-the-mill Asimur, most of the traits that you usually find of those types of things are sometimes when they feel like bright joy or supreme sadness. Bright joy, sometimes they glow a little bit and their eyes become like yellow and gold. Whereas some supreme sadness, sometimes it gets a little darker in the room and it gets a little damp, almost like there's a little storm cloud and that kind of thing. And their eyes get a little like grayer. And it's more like they literally wear their emotions on their sleeve a lot because their facial features and their body betrays what they're trying to hide.
They wear their emotions on reality.
Yeah, on reality.
Okay, then I won't tell how to put a halo on.
She's just somebody odd. She's just an odd person. Another one in our group.
Another odd person.
Another odd person in our group.
Would Pernilla have stayed back at the place, just at your folks' place, just so that she's not walking around with the visage of death?
No, I mean, we're leaving.
No, yeah, we
Right?
may be.
Okay, because she was staying back to do work
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh,
Just
We
for
have to come
like
back
the
to
hour.
get you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or meet us somewhere.
Or
Right.
you're going to meet us there after you're done. Kind of
Yeah. I just want a few more rays and some time to
okay.
think.
This is
And
going to take so long. And sit down with log and work. But...
I'm just
But
thinking
we
with
get 4
the-
more hours of that.
Yeah.
They're likely already at the gate. So when you're done, just
Can you pass this to Noel? Just read that for a moment.
meet us.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So let me blow my nose and
Not that it'll actually matter when you roll on something that we need you to like succeed at.
so but that's a very good point. Having that asmer information there, she could very well just, or they could just very well be mistaken. Moonshot could very well just be mistaken for an ace. Very, very, very,
Very
like,
odd.
yeah. They're more rare. They're not like extremely like unheard of. Like they're around. They're just rare. But yeah, no, she could have been like. I mean, a normal person's like, oh, why is that person glowing? And then like their friend who's more well traveled, be like, hey, you know, she probably got that celestial lineage. Don't worry about it. You know, that kind of thing.
Like tieflings are infernal lineage.
Right, right.
You could play it off that way very easily.
Yeah.
She's still odd.
So around us, that would be normal.
Right.
Right. She is actually more normal than a lot of us, honestly.
I have a feeling people would be more like staring at the dude who's got red eyeballs than
Or the
Cole's eyes. The sclera, the white parts of Cole's eyes are now red.
Right.
He's thaumaturgy.
So you just look like they're like you just look constantly strung out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
like
Oh.
extremely bloodshot. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
overly
story
normal.
behind it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like something definitely weird is going on.
I mean, you did hear me speak in your brain, so
And if you look really close, it's sort of like wiggles, like little wormies.
Wiggle, wiggle,
Yeah.
wiggle. It folds. I'm over see you.
No. Yes, but no. TikTok. Son of a-
More of the Instagram reel thing. I don't do the TikTok. But anyway, we're not here to talk about social media.
So picking things up along the route but we get to the Golden Gate.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's keep moving.
I mean, does anyone else have any specific things they need to pick up along the way?
Just the soul or two.
Are you killing people as we go?
I mean, we can always detour back to that house.
No, they're all gone. I only have a minute to take care.
Okay. So,
I mean, more
As
like
we walk through town. I mean,
No, that
Supplies.
doesn't really work out too well.
do you guys need any more supplies from the market before you head out?
just the food.
Now's the time. It's starting to get close. You guys gotta move.
I mean, do we have materials to set up camp?
I still have one tent left.
Yeah.
I used to
You
have
guys
three.
want more tents? You can buy more
I still
tents.
have one left.
Yeah, we should. Yeah,
I think I have
Can I get actual cooked
Not that I use
utensils?
it.
Because I think mine are magical at the moment.
Yeah. You want like
Pots, pan, like a
cook
cook
tools?
pot and a cook pot, big spoon.
Yeah. However much it is in the
Chef's
handbook, you
knife.
can just straight up buy it. Like
Okay.
you can get general goods here. You can go to Jorge George again, and he's got everything you could.
Were you there for that?
No, he was not.
George's Bazaar.
Oh well, welcome, Ed. What can I get for you?
Little guy, he pretends to be like 6 different people.
Okay.
Each identity has its own storefront, essentially.
Gotcha.
So if we
I'm
ask,
not highly offensive. I've got
I'm not
5
talking to
friends that are very, very that I work in a
Remember to get a
tandem
bulk
merchant here.
discount.
George, Jorge,
Georgie.
Georgie,
Georgie, what happened to your mole?
variations on the name.
What?
Each one's a different storefront that sells different.
I have a mole.
No, the other when we last interacted with him, we
I
told him that
dropped
he.
my.
I,
Oh right.
I
Put a birthmark on him.
yeah, I put that one on there, and now since it's been a while, it's gone.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like nothing that a good rest can't take care of.
Just call him George and ask him for what you want.
Hey, George, do you have any
Yes.
tents? We need at least how many?
Of course, I got plenty of tents. How much do you need? How
How
many?
many would we need?
We're under mountain. We don't need a whole lot of protection
Got
from
canvas tents, small tents, big tents,
the elements.
medium
Okay.
tents.
It's more about something to sleep on.
Okay.
So as long as you have a
Pitch tent?
bedroll,
Bedrolls?
Sorry,
Does anyone
gotcha.
need bedrolls?
no.
No,
You guys still have one.
Do you? Okay, so I will buy bedrolls for all of us.
9 bedrolls.
No.
Well, did we leave that behind? Because we.
yeah, that did get left behind.
You guys
I have one.
Whatever's in your, if you guys have Dungeoneer packs or Explorers packs, all of them have bedrolls in them.
Yeah,
Pretty
but
sure.
Right,
our
dude.
tents
We got
back.
ambushed when
That's
we were
right.
sleeping last
Right.
time.
That's right. So do you guys want a cute? Do you guys want 6 tents and 6 bedrolls just to make it easy?
Yeah.
Sure.
How much is that?
However much it is in the handbook should be.
I think it's just. Oh wait. No,
I got
that's
it.
How many I have?
Already
got
looked
it?
it up. Bedroll's a gold. So
A 2-person tent is 2 gold.
Okay. So we at least want
6 gold for the bedrolls,
Okay.
12 gold for the tents.
12 gold for the tents.
And then we can.
So-
Yeah, 6
18,
tents and
20
6
gold.
2-person
So
tents and 6
18 gold
bedrolls.
total.
okay. So I just got that, so that's covered.
We do have.
All right.
you.
And he pulls up the bunch, throws it on the counter.
I just throw them everyone.
Cool. This is a lot of materials. You probably don't want to put it in the bag of holding.
Okay.
No problem. Try not to jab.
Wait, do we need another
Charlie
barrel?
face.
If we can find one, that'd be great. If something happens to me, you guys have like 4 days to get everything out of here.
Well, if
Before
I can't
my
get you
magic
back in 4
fades.
days, we're gonna have problems anyway.
Right.
If I go and you can't get me back, my
You
magic
keep
fades.
casting gentle repose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also a ritual spell,
If I'm not aware enough to
which I could
keep
be doing
it away,
and take the thing.
if I'm not aware enough to keep it going,
But it might disintegrate.
Right.
my magic will fade after 4-ish, 5-ish days, somewhere in there.
Do we?
So if something happens to me, get the stuff out.
Why are you talking about dying?
First of all,
Chaos.
What?
if you
You're
die,
scaring me.
I'm
Things
gonna bring
happen.
you back. If
Yes.
I can't bring you back, we have bigger problems.
Yes.
Yes.
But if you can still grab the bag, it'll still be good for a couple of days to get safe.
We're not gonna
We get the stuff out of it.
Do we?
I didn't think you would.
If it was between the bag or you, I'd still pick you up over
Hey,
the
Log.
Okay.
Why did he just lick his teeth?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was TJ, the Dungeon Master.
George saw all of the cool bread and cheese, honey things that you have, and he's like, and he just looks so hungry.
Do you know of anyone that has any possible healing potions?
Oh, right. Yes, my compatriot probably has healing potions.
And what's your compatriot's name?
Which one was which? Which one was the potion boy?
I don't.
We never
They were,
talked
they were
about
all
it.
joined.
I don't think we ever got potions.
Oh, you never got potion
No, we didn't
boy?
know. We
we
got
got flasks. Is that where I got?
We got
flasks?
Glassware.
We got-
No, you
Yeah.
got glassware from George because he has all the general goods.
But yeah, we didn't.
Can I talk to him? Where is he
Sure,
at?
sure.
That
Hold
was
on one
Jorge.
second.
Which one was Jorge?
Hold on a second.
I thought
Jorge
Jorge
that
was Matt. No, I thought Jorge was
When he
magic.
got
Was Jorge weapons?
when he
Like the
ducks down,
weapons and
just
armor?
Follow him to wherever he's going.
No, because we didn't need weapons or
No.
So there's the general goods,
Pretty
there was
sure
the
it
hat.
was Jorge
There's
who
paper
had a
hats.
British
Yeah.
or had a like
Yeah,
German accent.
yeah, and we didn't get magical
stuff, magical paper. 'Cause
Wait.
he didn't have any, so he sent
Oh my god, I'm messing this up. I have to remember who had what accent. Paperboy had German accent, right? No. Paperboy had British accent.
It doesn't matter.
It
Just
doesn't
make him.
So matters.
It
His
doesn't.
personality
the
changes
magic
every
guy.
day.
When we got incense, he was playing his little
He's like a little nerdy
thing
guy.
on the side,
Yeah.
and then that's where we traded drugs with.
Oh, yeah. He was like,
Which was still George.
That was the guy who got all stoned afterwards.
yeah.
Right, was he like, yeah, man, welcome. I got
No,
It wasn't. It wasn't quite that. It was.
No.
It
It was more like Surfer Dude, I think.
bro.
I think that is DJ Server.
Yeah, oh, it's like, yeah, like, got this for you.
It might have. Shit, I can't.
I gotta go watch. All right, you know, guys, this is gonna be a perfect for us to take our break so I can look at the video.
It's multiple personalities. You can just make them up.
Yes,
but-
so we're gonna take our break. We'll be back in a little bit.
He's watching the store for me today, so
yes.
you can be anybody you want.
If you guys are watching this episodically, head over to the next episode. We'll be back so you can see the many faces of George. Stay tuned. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out all our social media. And as always, stay safe out there. Bye.
Bye.